Hello, lovely people. Welcome to another episode of the Editorial Podcast. I'm Nikki.
And I am Chris. We're coming at you with 221 hours of cycling time between us.
Damn, that is far.
Right? Can you imagine pedaling that far?
My legs would fall off. Like, just no joke. How the fuck did Terry Fox do it, man? He didn't pedal, but I mean, like, how did he run so far? He didn't make it all the way, but I mean, I can't even make it half.
God bless him.
I can't even go half.
It's rough. I mean, like, can you imagine just like Jello legs? Legs. But like, speaking of Jello legs and not being able to go very far, I mean, can I tell you about like what's really been making me mad?
What's
grinding my gears this week?
Tell me.
So I'm immunocompromised. For all of our lovely listeners out there, I have an autoimmune disease. We've previously mentioned this, but yeah, basically it means I'm on like medication that puts my immune system to sleep. So like if I catch anything, like I'm screwed. So like life in the time of a pandemic is like a little bit grating. And like right now it's beautiful warm weather in Toronto. Like I'm looking outside and it's like 25 degrees and just like sunshine. There's like not a cloud in the sky. It's gorgeous.
Sunshine, and lollipops and rainbows.
Yeah, it's exactly that kind of vibe outside. And like the 3 million people in Toronto are like all hanging out and like walking around outside. And I'm like, guys, please, can we keep our distance? Like people are just like fully walking into you, like not wearing masks. And I'm like, guys, if there's anybody to catch this plague, it's gonna be me. Like, I'm walking outside, basically like sprinkling hand sanitizer on people like a priest on communion with holy water.
Hashtag I'm like, don't kill Chris, guys. What the hell? Stay home.
Stay home. You know what?
Just because the government lifted restrictions for a little bit doesn't mean you all have to go flooding the fucking streets outside. Like, stay the fuck home, guys.
Even if you don't stay home, like, I understand you got to be outside sometimes and, like, you want to, like, go outside and stretch your legs. Can you, like, wear a mask and, like, still stay 3 raccoons away from me or 2 geese or whatever they're saying the measurements are? Just stay 2 meters away from me, please.
Oh, God. You guys don't know. Like, it actually breaks my heart every single freaking time that Chris posts a picture in her Instagram story for all her close friends that she's on an IV drip whatever it is. She has needles coming out of her arms almost like every couple of months because of this autoimmune disease.
Yeah, every 8 weeks.
It's sad, okay? I'm sure that there's other people out there that you love. I love Chris, but there must be other people that you guys love that it's very easy for them to catch the virus. So stay home. Or you know what? Be cautious and wear protective gear. Don't fucking touch everything. Don't go touching people's eyeballs.
Stop trying to lick each other in the face. Yes, don't lick each other's eyeballs. My gosh. It's ridiculous. Like, I've been hostage in this house on 2 beautiful sunny days now because I don't want anybody, like, breathing my air. My goodness. Like, breathe your own air from 2 meters away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
in Chris's case, to stay a little bit even further.
Oh my God. If you could just, like, stay away from me in general, like, in my normal agoraphobic ways, just stay away from me altogether. That'd be really great. Listen, I've been social distancing since I came out the womb. This is who I am.
Oh my God.
Like, I've been living for this moment. I'm like, great. No one has to come near me. No one has to talk to me. No one has to make eye contact with me on the bus. This is wonderful. I hope this is like this all the time.
We were having such a laugh about the TikTok video that came out where this girl is like saying the home class, like there's, classmates gathering together in home class in like year 2040 or something, and then the home class leader is like, hey, what's your name? Oh, my name's Social
like, distance.
They're like, oh yeah, and my middle name is, my middle name is Cwahssont, and then this is my sister Quarantina. We both
Quarantina
laughed
had
for
me
a
dead.
hot minute.
Oh my God. I cackled so hard. Quarantina.
It's too funny.
Oh my God. I'm still. So Jonah, who's a good friend of Nikki's, who's my sister, she's been calling the CERB the CERB, and I don't know why
It is called the CERB.
Every time I hear it, like I just die laughing. I'm like, it's the CERB, and she's just like,
but it is called the CERB.
Stop! Oh my God, it sounds like
Here's a reminder, guys. Remember to, if you are on CERB, remember to put in your reports every 2 weeks. Put a notification on your calendar to report, or else you will lose your $2,000 a month. Just saying.
This is true. And also make sure you put away some of that because you will be taxed in the upcoming income tax season. So put away like 20% for safe keepings because you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to go to jail because you owe the government money.
Right. I shouldn't have spent a lot of money on the Aritzia clientele sale like I just did last night.
Oh my God. Your Vancouver is showing the Aritzia clientele sale.
Dude, it is on right now. And you're saving a minimum 25%, up to 50%.
Oh,
do you know
my
how expensive
God.
that shit is?
I wouldn't know. The one thing I own from Aritzia, you got me for Christmas.
Oh.
And I love it. It keeps me very warm. Nikki sent me a very beautiful plush, like luxe, gorgeous gray scarf that I wear all the time. And it keeps my face warm in the blistering Toronto winters.
It's costly to be a basic bitch. Just putting it out there.
I can't say anything because it's pretty costly to be a Toronto hypebeast. I mean, the amount of money I spent on on like
a hype beast.
Yes, to spend on Nike like Air Max 90s. I'm lucky though because I got like bebe feet, so like I buy kids ones, like the junior sizes.
Same here.
Yes.
I go to Nike Kids.
Yes.
And I buy I buy my shoes there.
Oh my God. And like the Air Max 90s come in like sick colors because they're for children. And I'm like, yo, look at me flexing my purple shoes.
Chris's favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
For those who want to know a little bit more about Chris.
It's pretty funny. I have a small obsession with purple. I feel like if I'm not wearing black, I'm wearing purple. My nails are always purple. My favorite painting is the 1907 Water Lilies by Monet, which is primarily purple. So my phone case, my shoes often match that. It's bizarre. If you just see someone that's like...
people who like purple are all about purple.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a little bit of purple.
No.
Purple people are insane about purple.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I'm like very obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you have a purple personality.
Oh,
it shows.
Thanks.
It does.
I look like I've kidnap Barney the dinosaur and have him in my basement.
As a sex slave?
No! Oh my gosh. What?
You walked into that one again, Chris.
God, I was going for serial killer. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Good Lord. How did you turn that on me?
I don't know. You could have said something normal like, hey, I drink purple shampoo. But no, you're like, I have Barney locked up in the basement there.
That was the first thing I thought. Okay, oh my gosh. You know what? We should just jump in.
In your sex dungeon. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just jump into it today. My goodness. So, one of our lovely listeners dropped us a question. Please do so. You can send us an email at editorialpodcast@gmail.com or DM us on like various social media outlets, Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, this question came to us. It was basically, are platonic friendships between genders possible? Is it a thing that can happen?
Right. And this is another one of those questions like last episode where we feel like it deserves an entire episode to answer. Sometimes there are things that we want to talk about that we've planned for future episodes, and we'll talk about them, we'll get to them. But when we get questions like this where we feel like, oh, we both have something to say about it and it deserves the time of day
Yes.
to answer in a very extended format, we will do an episode dedicated to these questions. So yeah, platonic friendships, are they possible? We had this little discussion right before we started recording, and
Yes.
we both have very different answers. So why don't you make your case, Chris?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so I was kind of raised a tomboy to begin with. I could talk your ear off about baseball. I could talk your ear off about like early 2000s WWE wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the skincare routine of a 13-year-old boy, as I've mentioned before. I pretty much dress in like sweatshirts, jeans, and flannels. Like that's pretty much my go-to outfits. I'm pretty much one of the dudes. I've heard that from a lot of my dude friends. And I feel like for that reason, growing up, I didn't really connect with a lot of gals. Like I only sort of found my people later on in my life, but
Fair
the
enough.
few
Okay.
friends that I do have from like my formative years are dudes. Like we sort of like clicked on some like innate level where like we sort of claimed each other as brother and sisters. And then we're still friends to this day. And even now, a lot of my friend group, I would say about 60% of them are guys, simply because like I don't know, it's hard to talk about the things that I love talking about with women sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out looking for relationships. I'm not looking to date. I'm not looking for any sort of thing like that. But sometimes, you know, I wanna talk about baseball and I wanna go and sit in a sports bar and I wanna watch a game go down, or like I wanna talk about whatever cool thing is happening in the world of like board games.
Just shoot the shit like,
Yeah,
in a
I
boys'
want to.
locker
Yeah,
room
I
kind of
just want to
thing.
do that. And sometimes it's hard to do that and find people who are interested in those things in my gender. So it's a little bit hard for me to connect with women, and I've always had that kind of issue. But
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of my friends are dudes, and like we're chill and we're cool, and like there's been no miscommunication about what intentions are.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I want to touch base on the fact that when you are quote unquote one of the guys
Mm-hmm.
too, it can give that feeling to that guy that, hey, this girl is so easy, so chill to be around. We both talk about sports. She gets me on a level that my guy friends do. And they kind of let their guard down because they feel like you're one of the guys. But because they can't get past the physical attributes of you being a woman, there's going to be a time, like a day where it comes and he's going to be thinking, oh, I never saw Chris in that way because I always saw her as a dude, but she makes me feel so good. And then all these failed relationships that I've had with all these other women is because they have all these female attributes that I don't necessarily like or would like to have in a relationship. So they make that switch and then they go, but then everything that I want is like a dude. I just need them to be a female. And then they look at you,
I
right?
I don't know. I don't
And
know.
there will be that time. Don't tell me that you haven't lost guy friends because of this, that they've seen you pass your bromance and they actually see you as a female and then want to then merge into a romance.
I mean, I feel like yes, I will 100% say that like we've touched on this before. Like I've lost a lot of friends because of that, but I also feel
Exactly.
those friendships weren't defined right from the get-go. And like looking back on it, I realized sort of what the mistake was. Like I didn't quote unquote friend zone them straight from the get-go to like let them know what like the intentions were. For instance, there was an instance where a person I was working really closely with, we spent a lot of time together working on a couple projects together. And then, that sort of being stuck in like the same sort of traumatic, stressful situation brought us closer together. But I never sort of
Mm-hmm.
defined that I was like, you're my dude, my dude. Let's go, eat nachos and hang out. Somewhere those, I guess, lines were skewed and they weren't set in their boundaries. And I feel like that, if I can really trace it back to losing a lot of those friendships, it comes down to me messing up right from the get-go and not explaining what I wanted or what I had expected out of that.
Okay. It's not that you don't set those boundaries right from the get go, but nobody really goes up to someone that's like, hey, let me shake your hand. We're going to be best buds. We're going to be like friends. And don't ever think about fucking me.
Well, I mean, what goes on in like the caverns of your brain is what goes on in the caverns of your brain. But at the end of the day, it's like the social procedure, right? If we're just like hanging out, I don't know, playing Uno or something, don't like try to hold my hand or wherever. Don't do that. Still be cool. Like,
don't touch my hand while playing Uno, Alex. Okay? I'm not about that.
don't you understand? I'm just trying to switch the color right now. Oh my gosh.
I wasn't giving you a signal, you idiot.
Oh my god, the reverse card literally just means that we switch directions of play. That's it.
And now we switch directions in friendship, and I'm not for it.
Oh my god, what do you think this is?
Okay, we're super fucking annoying,
Yeah.
but I get your point. I get your point. For me, it's different because I don't think that you can be platonic to a certain extent, okay? And I'm going to preface this with, how am I going to say this?
So you have to find a eunuch is what you're working up to say.
No. You can be platonic after, I feel like after you've done it, or after it passes the point of being physical with each other.
What?
So, okay, try to stay with me here.
Do you?
Okay, try to stay with me here. There are people in my life, there are guy friends in my life where I have previously had physical relationships with, not emotional, because as I explained in a previous episode, we're all human. We all have our human needs. And so there are people in my life that I still keep around today that we just ended up being really good friends.
Okay.
Like I've met them for the sole purpose of just the physical aspect of them. Hey, I like your face. And we move on. But then it turns out that we have a lot more things that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And then it turns into friends. Like it's not necessarily, it didn't start with, let me take you out for dinner. Let's start a relationship. No, it was, hey, I like your face. And then, oh, okay, I guess you could be a friend. Like,
I
do you know
guess
what
we
I mean?
could be
And
bros, yeah.
And it does, and it now it's totally platonic.
Okay.
Because there's always gonna be, I feel like there's always gonna be that little bit of like a sexual urge, or that what if, like that little devil, fairy, whatever you want to call it, on your shoulder.
Mhm.
There's always gonna be that thing there that's like, what if? Or there's gonna be that one specific moment where you're like, I can't believe that this just happened with her, or that this just happened with him. It could be the stupidest fucking thing. It could be the most mundane thing where you guys are, friends to begin with, and you're sitting on the couch, you're watching a movie together like you always do every Thursdays after work. You're just chilling out, and he takes his sweater off for the first time because it was hot in your house or something. And then you catch a glimpse of like the outline of his bicep, and you're like, oh. Or you like, accidentally flip your hair, or you're tying up your hair in front of him, and he catches a whiff of your shampoo.
Oh my god, are you writing like
and then
terrible
he goes,
Nicholas
oh.
Sparks but like novellas?
No, I'm just saying there are these stupid moments that exist.
Moment, he caught
and then in that and then in that moment you're like, oh. You never saw them the way that you did,
and
just
in that
then.
moment everything had changed. Like,
oh my goodness. I'm just saying that happens, even if it's just the tiniest thing. It's like planting a seed, and then because your mind does the most miraculous things sometimes, it spirals, and then it just grows and manifests into this huge thing where you're just like, I can't stop thinking about her and that one thing that happened, and then now I see her totally in a different way. So has that ever happened? Tell me, write to us. Let me know if that Nicolas Cage moment has ever happened to you.
That Nicholas Sparks moment, because if Nicolas Cage was writing this, it'd be a completely different thing.
Oh, sorry. Wrong Nicholas.
Nicolas Cage would be like,
wrong.
We need to break into the American embassy so we can reclaim the love letters that
I've
he
never
wrote.
watched any Nicolas Cage movie.
It's
sorry,
fine.
Nicholas Sparks.
It's okay.
I don't even know my Nicholases. Okay, so that's what I mean. Like, let me know if that's ever happened, because I'm sure that I can't be the only one. I'm not that special, okay?
Oh, man.
So I'm saying that after that moment, and then you address that, then you can be platonic. I feel like that is the only instance when you level up to the now we're bros. Because there are guy friends in my life where now we are just bros and they talk to me about everything. They
Yeah.
talk to me about the girls that they see. It's like really bro on bro talk. And most of the time, they don't even see me as a female anymore.
Yeah.
Like that situation of like, oh, she has bro aspects, but she's a female. No, it's just literally she's a bro. So I think unless that shift has happened and that you've experienced that, unless that has happened, you can't be platonic. That's my take. I
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I hear what you're saying, but like I feel like for me and sort of where I come from with it, it's I'm never seen as that sort of sexualized person. Like I'm just there. Like it's just I'm just
I'm squinting my eyes at you because you're literally a
oh
beautiful
my
brown girl
god.
with long hair,
Jesus.
long eyelashes, and big titties.
Stop. Oh
So,
my god.
how are you telling me that people don't see
No, but I
you
mean
in the feminine
Jesus
form?
Christ. I mean, in sort of the way that, like, if you talk to a lot of my friends, they'll automatically tell you, oh, yeah, she's like my little sister. You know what I mean? It's like I've immediately been, like, seen as, like, an infantilized little sibling. I'm the annoying little sibling that comes along and, like, I don't know, steals your last popsicle and then, you know, runs along on my merry way.
Clearly, you do not know the categories on Pornhub.
Oh,
Okay?
God. Jesus Christ, Nikki.
I'm telling you, like, sister brother
Oh my
shit
god, I want to
is up
die
there.
right now. Jesus Christ.
Hashtag Chris cringe. Like,
I'm like
if
dry
you guys could only
heaving.
see Chris's face right now, guys,
Oh.
Chris is so pure. Sometimes I feel bad for doing it, but sometimes I don't.
Oh god, I'm like so red in my face right now. Jesus Christ.
I know. You're about to shed a tear.
Oh my god, I'm sending you a vial of holy water via FedEx tomorrow. I'm gonna overnight
I'm
it
going
to
to
you.
spike it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to spike it.
No, oh my god. Back to where I was going with this.
Platonic friendships. You think that you can be friends with guys, but I'm telling you, guys don't think that they can be friends with you.
Think so, though. 100%. I definitely think it's possible.
Unless that man does not have a
Oh
penis. I'm telling you, all men have their weak moments, okay? And then when that weak moment comes and you're around, doesn't matter if you're attractive or not, doesn't matter if you're, smart, intelligent, funny or not, they're going to think not with their head, but the other head.
Christ, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Oh my god. I see.
We're all animals. We're all
I know
animals.
that.
I told you this
I know,
before.
we've talked about this, but at the same time, like,
yeah.
How is it possible then? How is it possible that, like, so many of my friends have been able to get along with me, mildly tolerate me rather, for like a certain amount of time, but, we're still friends and nothing's been changed, nothing's been weird. We've been friends for years. Some of us have been friends for months, but like nothing's ever happened or nothing's ever progressed.
I bet you if you ask any one of them, has there ever been a moment, even a split moment, that you saw me other than just a bro? They're gonna say yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Don't ask that question if you want to ruin friendships. I'm just saying, if you were
am not
curious.
Definitely am not. But I don't know.
Maybe your butt looked really nice
Jesus
in jeans
Christ.
one day, I'm
just kind of
like Drake said, what did that Drake lyric go? I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch her go. Is that how it goes?
I'm the
Something
worst
along those
Torontonian.
lines.
I can tell you like 4 Drake lyrics. Yeah, I don't.
It's about her having a nice ass. But besides the point, you never know. They probably had a thought and they just don't want to tell you about it.
I'm just going to go and ugly cry into a cup of tea and become a hermit.
Are you telling me, what about you? Like, are you telling me that you've never once even had a moment where you're like, hey, he's kind of cute?
I feel like immediately my first thing to do is like be as professional as possible, like in all of those situations. And like I've talked about this.
Right, but you had the thought.
I had the thought, but like it's never become anything that I was willing to act on, like ever. It's like
No,
it's
I
like
know.
glancing at a piece of
I
art in
know.
a museum. You're like, oh, I would like to have that in my foyer. But, you're not going to rob the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Right, but I'm saying that you had the thought. You're just not acting on it. That's two different things. Just having the thought and acting on it is two different
Yeah, like I
things.
might see one of them and like, oh, you got a haircut. You don't look like a wildebeest today. Good on you. But like, it's not something that, would interrupt the trajectory of what the normal friendship would be.
Okay. So you've never had a little like
Not
tingle. It's just
really.
like, oh.
Not really.
Oh Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna have to send you like a life-sized body pillow of Ben
Oh my
Shorts.
God, Jesus Christ.
And I'll be like, hey Chris, you tingling
Been like,
now?
no, I
Yeah.
don't want this thing skulking about my house. Its beady eyes follow me everywhere and it's terrifying.
But he's cute
Not a
though.
life-size
He's cute.
pillow. That's bizarre and strange. I feel like I have someone like a murder in my house all the time.
Nobody's gonna judge you what you do with that
It
pillow.
would be immediately put out for the raccoons.
Oh no.
Seeing that I have a new raccoon neighbor, I'll
Right.
post the picture. I promise.
It's the cutest thing ever. It's so fat.
It's huge. It's like an iceberg. Like the weight of him is all underneath the rim of the garbage can. It's very funny.
His sheer presence is frightening.
Terrifying. His little eyes like looked into my soul for a good 2 beats. It was very funny.
We don't have those here. Oh, but that reminds me, like I was driving the other day and I don't know if I'm the only one that does this because I'm a freaking weirdo, but does anybody else when they see roadkill immediately scream bloody murder?
No, I like what?
No, okay, so I have this thing where literally whenever I'm driving and I see roadkill, no matter if there's no one in my car or I have a car full of people, I will just scream so loud because I felt that. Like I felt the dead animal.
Oh
I and
man.
then the squirrel that I saw the other day, it was on the side of the road on my lane and it was just on its back, like all four of his feet just up in the air. And I was like, I just screamed so loud because you could just see it looked like a mummified, squirrel, like a
Oh
freshly
man.
mummified squirrel. And I screamed so loud. And then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, that squirrel didn't look like it got ran over though. Like it looked like it just
Had
died of
cardiac
a heart
arrest.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was it was on its back with all four of his little feet up and then his tail was super straight. So I was like, nobody ran him over. He looks like he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
But it's just on the side of the road. And then I think about, oh, but then like who goes and buries them? Like I'm so sad.
Oh
Or
my
do they just
gosh.
stay there and then just rot and decompose? Like this and I see this at the place that I work at. I work
Uh-huh.
in a city called Richmond in this auto mall, and it's where all these car dealerships are. And for some odd reason, nobody seems to be able to explain, but it is infested with bunny rabbits.
What?
There are so many little bunnies
That's so cute.
everywhere.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe it has like a little like crawl hole den underground in front of Mercedes. There's so many of them and they're just everywhere. So
Oh.
whenever we're driving or when we ever take customers out for test drives,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, hey, obviously in the auto mall itself, there is a speed limit, but I'm like, hey, be careful. You know, that we have a lot of bunny rabbits around this little area until we hit the big road and then continue on with the test drive. But in the area of the auto
That's
mall, there's
so
all these
cute.
little bunnies.
That's adorable.
Like we have a vet, just regular people can come into the auto mall to go and visit their vet. That's really weirdly placed. But if they do see these bunnies and they do, because then sometimes there's just a lot of them. So what they'll do is they'll capture them and then they'll have people adopt them. So
Oh.
there's that. But then there's so many. And then you know what bunnies do all day? All they do is just eat and fuck. So they just procreate. There's just so many of them and you can't get all of them. And I've seen people try to like, they open their trunks and try to catch a bunny and take it home. but I've never seen anybody that's successful, but it's just funny. And then every time I see a ran over bunny rabbit, I will just like,
No! Oh my God. I don't know. We have rabbits here, but they're not prevalent. Around U of T campus, there are really bold squirrels. Like really
ooh,
bold squirrels. Like they're in your face. My favorite memory was my friend Lam and I, we were at U of T and like we had taken a break in between classes and we were sitting in Queen's Park, which is like this big grassy green area. And the squirrel,
okay.
Lamb was like eating a hot dog and like the squirrel had come down off the tree behind him and like fully just took the meat out of his hot dog and like
What
ran
the
off.
fuck?
And I will forever be traumatized by this memory.
Clearly, you have not dealt with monkeys in China.
Oh my God. I heard they're like really like devastatingly bold.
Yeah, yeah. We have a whole island dedicated to monkeys somewhere in China that I went to when I was a teenager, but I totally forgot where it was.
Yes, repression of memories and such, of course.
But I'm not for, the capturing of animals and putting them in zoos and stuff. So I
Zoos make
don't
me
really
sad.
support zoos or aquarium unless the animal was hurt and you're rehabilitating them and then putting them back in the wild. And that's the only reason why they're at your aquarium or at your zoo. But if not, and you're just keeping them captive, you think about how we're going fucking apeshit crazy after what? A month and a half, 2 months of quarantine. They've been in quarantine their whole entire fucking life.
Yeah,
Isn't that sad shit?
yeah, zoos just bum me out. I can't with them. Just like the sad little animals. Like I remember in elementary school, we went for like science class or whatever to like the Toronto Zoo and it was like the dead of winter. Seeing the sad animals just like with snow on their fur and I'm like, oh man, this is just like the biggest buzzkill ever. I'll wait for the bus. I'll see all of you guys there. This is like cramping my style.
I feel like this should be a torture method or a rehabilitation method for bad people and criminals in jail. Just shove them in a room that's like just the entire room is screens. The ceiling, the floor, all around, no windows, just screens. And all you play 24/7 is images and videos of sad animals being locked up and being tortured.
Well, I mean, they kind of did that. Do you know about Waco?
No.
Okay, so there was this cult that was run by this guy named David Koresh, and the ATF in the States like got involved trying to like get him to surrender. So like one of their tactics to like try to get all of the people out of the big complex that they had built was like to play dying animal sounds at all hours of the night so they couldn't sleep and they were like traumatized and would have to come out of the house.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Chris's
Cults and Caviar.
Stay tuned for the next episode,
which will be on the FLDS.
No, it's sad. I would just cave. I would cave instantly.
After like the first small kitten meow, I would just be like, just take me now. Like that would just be it.
Exactly. Now that I have a cat, like I had one previous to Bubba, but now that I've been a pet owner, I'm sure that all pet owners can tell you, why would you love the pet that you own, but then not love all the other animals out there who's minding their own business? You go and take them and capture them for your own entertainment. That's just sick,
geese,
guys.
Because I've been chased by geese just about everywhere.
Right.
Those guys suck. Yeah. I have beef with geese.
Do you eat them? Because I'm pretty sure
if I could savagely eat Canadian geese, I would. Can I tell you like the funniest story? So I got into Vancouver for like a work trip last year. Early in the day, I woke up because I was still in Toronto time because of the 3-hour difference. So like I pull up to English Bay at like 6 a.m. with like a cup of coffee and a croissant because that's how I roll.
Did you just say croissant?
Yeah, croissant. What do you call it?
A croissant?
A croissant. Where is your Quebecois? Your croissant.
Fancy bitch.
I had pulled up to the English Bay with my croissant. No, so Nikki's face.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
What can I say? Night of 1,000 accents.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I like pulled up to English Bay with like my coffee, enjoying the sunrise. I'm watching like the freighters come in. Gorgeous morning. Like some of the other like Vancouverites have turned up for like their run and their Lululemons because that's what Vancouverites do at 6 o'clock in the morning around English Bay.
Basic
And
bitches.
oh yeah, with their like kale smoothie in their hands, and I'm like, cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I got to be at work in a little bit, but I'm there. I was like, my main goal was to get some like beach waves in my hair from the seawater because we don't have salt water in Toronto. We have a lake with suspicious water in it that may turn you into a lizard if you stay in it for a prolonged amount of time.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like I'm sitting there, I'm like enjoying it. I like got some beach water in my hair. It's like great. Got some sea brine. Amazing. And then this pack of geese come swimming by and just like a gaggle. I'm not thinking anything of it. You know, I'm like enjoying it. I finished my croissant. I've like wadded up the paper. It's like in my bag. I'm just sipping my coffee. And one like makes eye contact with me in like an uncomfortable manner. And I'm trying to avoid eye contact with it because I was like, it's a goose. What is it going to do? Knowing full well that I've been chased by geese in the past. And this one just gets out of the water and starts walking directly towards me. And I take off. I was like, I am not fighting a goose in Vancouver today.
You
I did
have
not
been
fly
marked.
4 hours to get chased by a goose on English Bay at 6 a.m. Absolutely not.
You were the chosen one.
Every single time. There's something about like waterfowl and me. Like we just don't get along.
I see. Well,
yeah. If I could eat like geese just to show them that I am the alpha, I would. Been like, yeah, I'll take you guys down too. I'll roast you guys at low and slow at 350 for a few hours. Put you in a sandwich. Yeah.
Is it illegal to eat geese in Canada?
Oh, 100% it is, but they're
it is?
also shouldn't be jerks. They're like a Canadian icon. I don't think you can eat them. I don't think you can legally eat them. I also don't feel like it would be like safe to eat them. They like hang out in like salmonella water and E. coli water.
What is our national animal? Like, what is our animal mascot for Canada? Is it a beaver? Is it a goose? Is it?
We got a couple. Like, we have the moose.
Oh, right, the moose.
I go by all the ones that are like listed on our money. The beaver's on our nickel.
No, but
the
don't we have like
the quarter?
We don't have just like one?
I don't know.
Because Australia like has the kangaroo, right? That's what it is, right?
Maybe. They also have koalas. Koalas are pretty cute too. They've got all the marsupials.
Yeah, but that plays like second fiddle to the kangaroo.
This is fair.
So
I can tell you that the animal for Toronto would definitely be a raccoon.
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
I feel like I could Google this right now.
Well, while you Google that, I don't know how we strayed so far off topic, but
oh my god.
Let's move then. Hopefully that answers the question. Sorry, of the platonic friendships.
Yes. Oh, it is the beaver. It is the North American beaver.
What the fuck did I say? I'm not all dumb.
Oh, but there's like official symbols and like the beaver comes up when you Google it, but there's like a few others. There's like the moose. Yeah. All the ones that like you would expect, but the beaver is the official one.
So yeah, Nikki's not just pretty, but I'm also kind of smart sometimes.
You're a genius. Let's relax.
No. But let's move on to our last question of the day.
Yes.
And this comes from another lovely listener. Thank you for listening. She shares, I am a lesbian who has a crush on my straight best friend who does not see me does not see me as anything else but a friend. What should I do? Profess my feelings or keep them in and distance myself? I don't see any other way to stop this crush. Wow.
Oh, man.
I love that we have all these deep questions asked by our listeners because you really trust us and it warms my heart, you know?
No, I feel really inadequate because like I'm not equipped to handle any of this and I feel like imposter syndrome to the max.
I know, but she wants to know our thoughts on the matter.
I know. Oh man. Nikki, you go first.
Okay, well, I identify as bisexual. I lean more towards men than I do women though. But I've had this experience where I thought a female classmate was definitely really cute. I didn't necessarily profess my feelings. It was more so
Mm-hmm.
I gave them hints because I knew she was straight. I knew she was straight.
Okay.
And I was in high school. So for me, I thought maybe it could have been a phase. Also, being
Mm-hmm.
raised in a very traditional Asian family, all you think you can't be those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe this was a phase. If it wasn't, I didn't want to I didn't want to ruin the friendship either, but I wanted her to know and see how she would react, knowing full well she's straight. We went to a choir music festival. And we were
I
going to
love
go and
it.
sing at another school. And I wanted to sit next to her on the bus. And I just, it was a long bus ride. And I kind of just like, maybe laid my head on her shoulder. And like, it was okay because we're girls. But I think
Yeah.
I think afterwards I gave a little bit more hints and then she started to pick it up like, oh, okay, Nikki's being a little bit more touchy feely than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of, I guess, making her uncomfortable. So she let me know by distancing herself. So I think if you
Yeah.
wanted to test the waters, but not necessarily full blown come out and say, I love you, perhaps maybe give off little signs. But if you like already know, like if your friend's not curious, like bi curious in any way, then maybe just tell them, hey, this is how I feel about you. Just be straight up and just hope that, tell her, I hope that this does not affect our friendship. I just wanted to let you know how I feel about you. And I know that you're straight, but I just wanted you to know if you have a feeling that maybe she could be a little bit into that. I then maybe give off some signs. I don't know. This is probably not the best advice ever, but just drawing from my own personal experience. I gave somebody some hints who I thought could be, but
Mm-hmm.
then I wasn't sure. So if you're absolutely sure, but you don't want to ruin the friendship, perhaps just come out in the open and just say how you feel and that way it will kind of contain your crush a little bit because if you're having these really intense feelings it's really difficult to not think about them every time that you're with them. I guess subconsciously always going to be in the background and then it's going to take away from the experiences that you share together and the time that you guys have together in the present. So perhaps maybe just let them know and then hope for the best in terms of how they would react. If they are
Yeah.
understanding and they will tell you, hey, thanks for telling me, but I'm not into that. I like men. So I will try my best to not kind of flame your desire by, I don't know, being too close with you, but then we're still good friends. Like maybe not
Yeah.
give you the wrong idea that I'm into you as well, kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like regardless of gender, like I feel like a lot of us have been on that receiving end or been on the opposite end of that. Like I can tell you from personal experience, like nothing scares me more than having a friend who like you built a good friendship with turn the relationship into something else. And to be honest with you, it's the easiest thing in the world just to be open and honest and have a discussion about it. I feel
Mhm.
like I would have been able to salvage a lot of those friendships had I been strong enough to have that conversation instead of like retreating and like distancing myself to see if we can like at least, maintain some boundaries
Mhm.
and try to figure out what's going on sort of past this discovery. So, definitely a conversation I would recommend because it'll probably save both of you a lot of heartache and heartbreak in the end.
Yeah, regardless of gender, if a good friend comes up to you and just says, "Hey, I actually really like you." Give them props for having the confidence to do that
Yeah.
and don't shoot them down right away, but explain to
Take a couple
them.
minutes to weigh your options because, again, I can speak from experience, like getting hasty and then just being like, no, I'm going to turtle into my shell and then just avoiding everything. And then you've not only lost the potential of what could be something, you've also lost your friendship now.
Uh-huh.
So you got to weigh your options.
Yeah. Don't be hasty to jump to conclusions just because you've always seen them in that particular light. It does, because you have had that relationship with them, that friendship for so long, they deserve the courtesy for you to be respectful that they came to you in a very vulnerable state, professing their, desire to be with you, or their love or their
Professing their
admiration.
desire. Take it easy there, Nicholas Sparks.
Okay, not Nicolas Cage this time. But take the time to just, think about where they're coming from, and perhaps maybe you had something to do with it. Maybe you're just a touchy-feely person and they never had somebody in their life that was touchy-feely, and they got, some weird vibe from you and they wanted to explore it, or, talk to them. And I think communication is always a key when it comes to building friendships, relationships, any types of ships. If you don't communicate, your boat's going to sink. I don't know where I'm going with this, but talk to each other. I think there's so much weight put on people who have this miscommunication with other people, where it's like, oh, you don't understand how I'm feeling and I'm upset right now. Well, yeah, because either A, you didn't do a good job of explaining yourself, or B, you didn't explain yourself at all, and I'm not a mind reader. Yeah, and how am I supposed to know? I'm just telling you my feelings, right? It's not a crime to have certain feelings. It is the best way to go about it is, before you take any action, is to speak up about your feelings and let the other person know, so that they're on the same page as you.
Yeah.
So you guys can have that conversation and have each other understand where you're both coming from, and why you feel the way you do, why you'll say the things that you'll say, and why you do the things that you do.
Yeah, it's better just to have the conversation than, if you're on the receiving party, nip it in the bud and, put your boundaries where you need to put them to salvage your friendship or explain what's happening in your own life. You gotta see it from both sides.
Yeah. So to this person who asked us the question, I hope that your friend is open-minded, and I hope that they will, because of your friendship together, takes the time to understand where you're coming from and see your courage for coming out in a vulnerable state and trying to talk to her and let her know how you feel. Let us know how it goes. We hope the best for you. And it's a very tough situation to be put in, and I don't know if the advice that we give is relevant in any way, but
yeah, for sure. But I mean, we thank you for coming to us with that. That's amazing. We hope it turns out well for you.
And if you don't worry. There's a bunch of bad bitches out there who, would love to have you, be their friend, and more than a friend. There's so many fish in the sea.
Yeah,
right?
all of that. It's okay. It's all right. There's so many other options at the grocery store.
Right. Maybe just
let's think of more metaphors. There's so many other bulbs in the chandelier.
Right. And if you're not pescatarian like me, you can go and try meat. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wait. I just realized that was another thing that meant another. I didn't mean that if you only like women and you don't like meat. That's okay.
No, but I understand. There are other proteins.
Right. There's other like tofu. You can try.
Yeah.
Yeah. This just got awkward real fast. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Edit to Real. We hope that you had fun with us. Please submit your questions to us at edittorealpodcast@gmail.com. Come follow us on Instagram and Twitter at edittoreal. I guess that's it for us.
That's it for us. Send us your questions. We always love hearing from you. I think we'll see you soon.
Oh, there will be a website coming.
There is a website coming. I am not the best at Steve Jobbing my way through technology, but we're going to figure it out. It's going to be an experience.
Yeah. And for those who don't feel necessarily comfortable submitting your questions to us via email with your personal name and everything. You'll have the chance to do that anonymously on our website. Submit your questions there, and we will be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, once I figure out how to do that with technology. If you guys got tips for me, please hit us up, because
Yes.
I would like all the help I can get right now.
Anyways, guys, thank you again. Stay real.
Stay real.